I mean, it's very true. The statistics tell, the importance of the time of youth. But I think youth, they have a passion, and they do. I mean, there's the peer pressure, but there's the positive side of peer pressure as well. That they're able to bring friends into the church and into an understanding. But I think that youth are looking for something more than traditional church. And I think that it's so important that the church doesn't miss this, that we don't get so stuck on our traditional church models that, that we're not bringing the youth alongside. Because the youth and children do have potential, amazing. It's not just potential, they have the amazing ability to impact. And truth spoken out of a child's mouth is very powerful. Recently I heard one of our little girls, precious little girl, and she was actually born, at NightLight. Her mother came to us when her mother was 5 months pregnant out of the bar. We'd gone to the bar to visit, and the mama-san, manager of the women, actually came to us and said, "Could you help? I have a woman who's 5 months pregnant. She cannot continue to dance. She has no place to live. She doesn't have any family to take care of her. She's lost her documents. Can you help, please?" And we said, absolutely. So she brought this woman. She actually walked her, delivered her to NightLight. And the woman became a Christian immediately. 4 months later, she had this beautiful little girl who's half Japanese, at NightLight, and just began to be raised by 80 moms, who just were loving her, and 80 moms and one dad, And, but then as she grew, she was getting, it was a little harder to do computer work while holding this little toddler, and so we opened the child care center. It actually started, because of her. And now we have 16 kids on average, 3 and under, who attend the child care center on a daily basis. But this little girl, her mom, is our most anointed worship leader. Just amazing presence of God that comes when she leads worship. So this little girl is watching her mom lead worship. And just the other night, we had a worship night in our outreach center in the red light area, which we do once a month in partnership with Iris Ministries. And the mother was leading worship just so powerfully. And the little girl saw a microphone stand behind where the mom was. And there was no mic in it, but she went up and she was like, she wanted to try, So I went up there and I took the microphone stand and I went and I put it up front, a little ways over, but where her mom was and the other, worship leader, and set it up, no mic, but just set it up just the perfect height, and she was testing it out to make sure it was just the right height for her mouth. She's 5 years old. And so she stood up there with her mom, singing into this pretend mic, just worshiping and just getting into it. And it was so, so precious. Just to see that, her life, the difference of her life in growing up in that environment. But I heard that we have one woman who's wandered away from Jesus and is worshiping the idols and, making the offerings and going to the temples. And so she, was with this little girl, the little 5-year-old, and she told the little girl, why don't you why these idols? You need to why these idols. And the little girl said, "Auntie, why are you doing that? I have Jesus. I don't need those idols. Why are you doing that?" And just pure, just truth out of the mouth of a babe. And so, little girls, little kids, children, they have an impact. And they speak the truth, and they draw their families into it. And sometimes, even hardened adults, hardened parents can be led by a child's hand to come into the kingdom. And so I think it's very important that we give these kids, to begin with, a good foundation where they have the opportunity to know and to believe that, yes, they can hear from God. We try to teach, we have teams sometimes that come and teach the kids how to hear the voice of God. And, and so this little girl even, sometimes we'd be doing deliverance ministry and she was always so curious. She always wanted to come right over and watch. And sometimes she would even put her hand on people when we're praying for them for prayer or for deliverance, because she's seen it modeled and she's believing that she can grow up and have this power as well, the power in the name of Jesus.